This afternoon, we'll see Michigan State taking on Wisconsin, and one of the storylines in this game has been how much could the Spartans possibly have left after two gut-wrenching losses against Michigan and against Ohio State. Resiliency, it's a theme that college football coaches love to harp on. One particular Spartan knows that resiliency extends far beyond the football field.
I'm walking down the street sometime and, smell like a really awful smell or something like that. I would just think of like the dead bodies back there.
Haunting reminders for the Michigan State running back of a war-ravaged life he narrowly escaped. Jehuu Caulcrick was born in Liberia in 1983 when peace still prevailed, but civil unrest loomed. By the mid-1980s, the government was under siege. Jehu's father, a security chief for Liberia's Secretary of State, was forced to flee the country and leave his family behind. Staying with them would have risked their lives.
Even if you were just a friend to them, they will kill you.
5 years later, Jehu's mother, Benita, had separated from Jehu's father and met an American businessman in Liberia. She moved to the United States to marry him and tried to obtain visas for her children, who had stayed in Liberia with their grandparents. But before Jehuu and his sister Mardia could leave, civil war erupted, a vicious war that would eventually kill more than 150,000 men, women, and children. One day when Jehuu was 7, tragedy hit home. A foster child, Joseph, who Jehuu and his sister considered their own brother, was struck.
We were all in the house and we heard one of the soldiers say, F with this house and let's see what's in there or who's in there. And so they just opened fire on our house.
I don't know how this struck him. It went through so many things. It went through like a door, a chair leg, another door, and then went through his neck.
The family was forced to keep Joseph's body in the house for weeks before the gunfire slowed enough to allow them to bury him outside. With the violence growing worse, Jehu's grandparents took the children and fled.
You walk miles all day. You're lucky if someone's nice enough to give you a cup of water that everyone can share.
One of our neighbors that was going with us had passed out, and we had tried to pick her up, but the soldiers were like, keep moving, keep moving. So we left her, and when we came back, we had seen her on the side of the road. At that time, she was all like blown up.
In America, Benita had lost all contact with her family for 2 years. Liberian authorities would not allow anyone in or out of the country.
I cried every day, and I was wondering, did they get any food to eat today? I just was everything. You will have the worst things go through your mind at a time like that, because you're wondering if they're even alive.
Benita flew to a neighboring country and snuck rides into Liberia. She searched for her family day after day. She found them 3 months later.
I stepped out in front of the house, and my dad was sitting there. He go, Benita? Benita? I thought he was just gonna die. I was like, yes, Daddy, it's me. Yes, Daddy, it's me. And he's like, Benita? He could not believe it, and
everyone just went nuts. We ran out there, gave her a big hug, and she came, she brought us some clothes, some food.
It was a good feeling to see them, and to count them and see that everybody was there. Everybody was there. And then it was like, okay, we gotta get out of this place.
The family spent 4 days running through the darkness and hitching rides to freedom. Just before they left Africa, the family learned sad news.
We were sitting in the medical office when I seen the newspaper, and it said 500 Liberians killed in Sierra Leone, And I don't know why, but I just took the newspaper and I was going down the list, and I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for Jehu's dad's name, and boom, it was right there.
I was devastated. I was just devastated. I just cried.
Jehuu and his sister landed in New York with their mother in 1992. Jehuu was 9, Mardia 11.
They were afraid at first when it rained and lightning and thunder. It reminded them of guns and bombs.
You know, we would like try to go to find protection somewhere, and then my mom would have to be like, no, it's okay, it's okay.
While Jehu's friends in Liberia were forced to become child soldiers and taught to kill, Jehu was able to play high school football, led his team to a state championship. He received a full scholarship to Michigan State. A happy ending to a terrifying story most would want to forget. Not Jehu.
It's something I definitely want to hold on to because I feel it makes me a stronger person. If you get a bad grade or, you know, fumble or something like that, you know it's not the end of the world. I could have not been here. It makes you appreciate life. It makes you appreciate things.
You know, for much of the week, we've spent time discussing stories like the Maurice Clarett story, and cynics will say that it exposes a seamy underbelly of intercollegiate athletics. Then you see a story like the one from Jehuu Caulcrick. You see a young man taking advantage of an opportunity, and you see the good side of sports as well.
I think you're right, Reese. I think your point about taking for granted your opportunity is the key here. I mean, so many of these student athletes, I think they should have to watch a piece like this. I mean, they forget about the incredible opportunity that they have. And I think this is the power of intercollegiate athletics right here in work. When you think about it, guys from all different walks of life, all different regions, coming together for the benefit of the team, for the benefit of its good, that's the power of what college athletics should be all about.
And I agree with you. And I think just watching this piece, it makes you realize how fortunate we are to live in a country where we have our freedoms and we shouldn't take them for granted. And if you look at that piece, just as young children out in the street just fighting every day just to find food, where we take things for granted in this country, we can just walk down the street and pick something up to eat. For student athletes, they should realize how fortunate they are to play sports and enjoy sports rather than walking down the street having someone shoot at you or carry a gun where you're just fighting and striving for your life every day. I think it's a wonderful piece, and it's a great ending thus far in the story.
And Jehuu Caulcrick averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Spartan fans starting to call for him to get the ball more. They like that hard charging straight
I said watch out for Sparties today.
You can see Sparty against Bucky the Badger, Michigan State and Wisconsin, 3:30 Eastern time this afternoon on ABC. Jehuu Caulcrick is certainly well worth tuning in for. He'll run over a guy if he gets his way every now and then.